Federal Drive is presented by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association, proudly providing health and dental benefits to federal employees and their families. Visit GEHA.com.
The Trump administration is opening up more opportunities to expand hiring across the government. In less than a week, the Office of Personnel Management has set up an early career talent network and also launched a recruitment effort for project managers. The initiatives come after sweeping reductions to the federal workforce over the last year. Here with the latest is Federal News Network's Drew Friedman. Drew, thanks for joining me.
Nice to be with you, Terry.
Let's talk about that early career network first. What is OPM hoping to achieve there?
What they're trying to do is address a long-time challenge for federal agencies, which is, of course, hiring and retaining younger federal employees. This has been a problem for a long time in government, where you have a very small share of the federal workforce that is under age 30, for example, compared with a larger portion of the workforce that is in their 50s or older and eligible or soon eligible for retirement. So what OPM is trying to do here with this new talent network, as they're calling it, is essentially have people who are interested in federal jobs and younger job seekers sign up for alerts on usajobs.gov, where they can connect with agencies who are hiring for lower or mid-level positions across government. And they're looking for particularly to hire in what they're calling critical mission roles like HR, finance, technology, project management, and contracting. So really a broad range here of skills that they're seeking to hire for, and with that focus again on early career talent.
Well, you mentioned that the federal workforce has always skewed a bit older. What has happened to that younger segment over the last 14 months?
Well, if you consider within the broader workforce reductions that have occurred, a lot of them did disproportionately affect younger and less experienced federal employees. That's because, for instance, the probationary terminations that happened last February and March, those were not always, but often people who were newly hired into government, meaning that a lot of them may have been less experienced. There was also the cancellation of the Presidential Management Fellows Program, which took out some younger employees, and just the reductions more broadly. If you look at the data from OPM, the share of federal employees under age 30 declined from about 9% in 2024 to 8% in 2025. If you compare that to the private sector, for example, they're at about 22% of employees who are just across the U.S. who are under age 30. So that's a much smaller portion that we see in federal government.
But now OPM is also wanting to help agencies hire project managers. Tell us more about that effort.
They have a new job announcement up that essentially is going to be a cross-agency hiring initiative. And what that means is that OPM itself has this job announcement where people can apply for project manager positions. And then once they have all those applications in, OPM is going to do all the assessments to see if the skills of the applicants match what the government's looking for, create what's called a shared certificate, and then have agencies, if they choose to, hire off of this list of candidates that have already been assessed and vetted and deemed qualified for project manager positions. OPM says that this new job announcement aims to combat a critical and government-wide skills gap in project management that has existed for a long time. This particular announcement is looking at the GS-13 level, and the salaries for these open roles would range from about $100,000 to $150,000.
What have staffing trends looked like for project managers since President Trump took office?
There has been a decline, just to put it in short there. This job announcement from OPM focuses on the 0343 job series, which focuses on management and program analysis. That's a very broad category of employees, but it does include project managers within that. And if you look generally at that job series in OPM's workforce data, you'll see that about or more than 20,000 employees have separated or left their jobs since January 2025 when President Trump took office. So it's there has been a decline in project managers across government. It's not necessarily a one-for-one because, the agencies that may have lost project managers may not overlap exactly with who's going to be hiring now, but that generally gives you a sense of just the volume of project management expertise that we've seen leave the federal workforce in the last 14 months.
These two initiatives both seem like they're pointed in the same direction, trying to fill a bit of the hole that was created with the mass departure of federal workers last year. What comes next for federal hiring?
It seems like this is going to be part of the trend going forward. We had these two announcements this week from OPM. That's on top of the Tech Force hiring initiative. They've also mentioned that they're planning to soon have another projects manager job announcement at the GS9 level. So I think we're going to start seeing this pop up more and more where they're looking to fill what have been for a long time mission critical skills gaps in things like, as I mentioned, HR, finance, technology, project management. But at the same time, again, as I mentioned, those concerns or questions about what's really going to drive people to these jobs and to these job announcements, if you've had so many leave over the last 14 months. Again, OPM has said that's not really going to be an issue with the way that they see it, but I think it's going to be a matter of just seeing how many applications they get, how much interest is truly generated in these jobs.
That's Federal News Network's Drew Friedman. Drew, thanks for joining me. We'll certainly see how this all plays out.
Absolutely. Thank you, Terry.
You can find her story at federalnewsnetwork.com.